So Steve Bannon is indicted again, and Donald Trump has a nuclear meltdown. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So let's take on two stories about repeat offenders, Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. And as you may have noticed, the studio is changing up a little bit. It's in a state of flux, still working on the lighting and working on the sound. We're not done yet, but I wanted to get out a video today, even though it's still a work in progress. So please stay tuned and feel free to send me comments about what you're seeing, because it's always helpful to get feedback. Now, the repeat offenders. Let's start with a story about Steve Bannon. This from the Washington Post. Steve Bannon faces state indictment in New York, will surrender Thursday. And that article begins, Stephen K. Bannon is expected to surrender to state prosecutors on Thursday to face a new criminal indictment, people familiar with the matter said, weeks after he was convicted of contempt of Congress and nearly 2 years after he received a federal pardon from President Donald Trump in a federal fraud case. Okay, friends, 3 quick observations about this story. First of all, it's never a good thing to be indicted in one case when you're about to be sentenced in another criminal case. And Steve Bannon was convicted of 2 counts of contempt of Congress and is facing up to 2 years in prison. And now prosecutors dropped another case on his head. The second observation is that I will forever be astonished at the fact that Steve Bannon stole from Donald Trump's supporters, from his base, with this bogus "We Build the Wall" foundation, when in fact, the only thing Steve Bannon was building was his own bank account, because he was bilking Trump supporters out of their money. And after Steve Bannon stole their money, and after he was indicted by the feds for it, Donald Trump pardoned him. Talk about adding insult to injury. But, you know, friends, I don't like to call people names, but the people who continue to send Donald Trump money after Bannon stole from them and Trump pardoned him for those crimes, those people at this point are suckers squared. Third observation, and it's related to the second. Steve Bannon accepted a pardon from Donald Trump. You know what the Supreme Court has said about accepting a pardon? This from a case called Burdick versus United States. A pardon carries with it an imputation of guilt, and acceptance of a pardon, a confession of it, guilt. So let me say that again in plain English. When Donald Trump gave a pardon to Steve Bannon for the fraud, the crimes he committed when he stole from Trump's supporter with the fake "We Build a Wall" foundation, when he gave him that pardon, with that pardon came an imputation of guilt, a suggestion of guilt, some evidence of guilt. And when Steve Bannon accepted that pardon from Donald Trump, the Supreme Court has said that is, in some sense, a confession of guilt. Now, there has been some litigation in lower courts, but the Supreme Court has never revisited that precise issue or backed away from the pronouncement it made in the Burdick case, albeit more than 100 years ago now. But it raises the interesting question. When the state court prosecutors are trying Steve Bannon for the fraud crimes that he committed in violation of state law with the bogus "We Build a Wall" foundation, basically the same conduct that resulted in him being indicted by the feds, but he was pardoned. Now those similar crimes, the state version of those crimes, will be handled in state court. And when the prosecutors try Steve Bannon will they try to introduce evidence that he accepted a pardon? Because according to the Supreme Court, that is some confession of guilt. I know I would. All the judge can say is no, but the judge might say yes. Stay tuned. More to come soon, I'm sure, on this story. Now let's turn our attention to the other serial offender, Donald Trump, in what is a far more consequential story. Donald Trump has long compromised, endangered America's security, and now it's pretty clear that he is also endangering world security. Here's the new reporting from the Washington Post. Material on foreign nations' nuclear capabilities seized at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. And that article begins, a document describing a foreign government's military defenses, including its nuclear capabilities, was found by FBI agents who searched former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence and private club last month, according to people familiar with the matter, underscoring concerns among U.S. intelligence officials about classified materials stashed in the Florida property. Some of the seized documents detailed top-secret U.S. operations so closely guarded that many senior national security officials are kept in the dark about them. Let me say that again. Many of our nation's top security officials are kept in the dark, are not permitted to see the documents that Donald Trump stole from the White House and unlawfully concealed at Mar-a-Lago. You know who did get to see them? Anybody that Donald Trump showed them to. Let copy them. Let snap a picture of them. Sold them to. That's who got to see them, even if our nation's top security officials were unable to see them. As if we needed any more reason to indict Donald Trump for his many crimes. America awaits Trump's indictment. And now, I think, in a very real sense, the world awaits Donald Trump's indictment. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.